A manhunt is underway this morning in Melbourne to find a group of men responsible for the brutal attack on North Melbourne champion Jack Ziebell. Live to Sunrise correspondent Tegan Doling. Tegan, Ziebell has been released from hospital overnight.
Yeah, good morning, Shervo. He has been released, but it's likely he's going to have to go back in this week to have a little bit of surgery. The three men that police are looking for were here inside the Osborne in South Yarra on Saturday night. It's understood that they were harassing the 32-year-old and were kicked out by security. Now, a short time later, Ziebell has walked outside and it's there that he was attacked. He was punched at least once to the face and then was kicked while he was on the ground. Now, as we know, he had his last game on Saturday night. He was here celebrating his retirement with his wife, with his mates and a couple of team members too. Now, he's going to have surgery, what we understand, on a broken nose. He has been released from hospital. Police are obviously still looking for the trio. It was very busy here at the Osborne on Saturday night. They were celebrating their 5th birthday. A lot of people queuing outside who witnessed the unprovoked attack, and a lot of cameras here too, Shervo, so hopefully it won't be too long for police to be able to identify these three men.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, Tegan. Here's Nat.
Thanks, Shervo. In breaking news this morning, a 66-year-old man has died after being in a house fire that destroyed multiple homes in Brisbane. Live to Sunrise correspondent Georgie Chumbley now. Georgie, what do we know?
Good morning, Nat. Well, 66-year-old Hugh Walker was rushed to hospital on Saturday night with serious injuries. He was on life support overnight, and we are hearing that he has passed away in the early hours of this morning, surrounded by family and friends. He was in one of the 3 homes that went up in flames in Hawthorn on Forbes Street, with neighbours rushing in to save him. They dragged him out of that burning building and doused him in water for up to 20 minutes before paramedics arrived. He was raced away to hospital, but as I said, sadly, it is understood that he has passed away overnight. Police are still investigating the cause of this blaze. They understand it could have started with a hot water system on one of the properties. Nat.
OK, thank you, Georgie.
Let's get some more news now. Morning, Eddie.
Morning, Shervo. Morning to everyone. New this morning, our Army's military arsenal is set to be beefed up with more long-range missiles. Let's go live to 7 News political reporter Jennifer Beshwadi in Canberra. And morning to you. A multi-billion-dollar deal has been struck.
Good morning, Eddie. That's right. About $1.7 billion will be invested to acquire these high-tech missiles and weapons for our Defence Force. $1.3 billion of that will go towards 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles from the United States, which will give our Australian Navy boats a world-leading shooting capability. Now, these missiles have a range of about 1,500 kilometres, and only 2 other countries have them, the United States and the UK. Australia is also buying 60 advanced anti-radiation guided missiles worth about $430 million. These are air-to-ground missiles, so will be equipped to fighter jets, and also buying an additional 22 mobile rocket launchers, which will be used to shoot missiles from trucks. Now, the Defence Minister, Richard Marles, will make the announcement later this morning. He says that investing in the capabilities that our Defence Force needs is critical to keep Australians safe in this complex and uncertain world that we live in. Eddie?
Thank you, Jen. There are calls this morning for a radical overhaul of youth justice in Queensland as the youth crime crisis continues to spiral out of control. Let's go live to Tamara Bowe on the Gold Coast for us. Tamara, what's being proposed now?
Well, Eddie, they're calling this relocation sentencing, and this is a bold new plan that has been proposed by Katter's Australia Party, who for the first time has unveiled their idea around this program, calling on the Queensland government to adopt it or at least give it a trial run. How does it work? Well, it groups these young offenders together in age groups, splits them by gender, sends them to the outback to live in demountables where they would receive proper training in vocational education as well as schooling systems and rehabilitation programs. Now, this is because the Katter Party's leader, Robbie Katter, says the system is flawed, it is completely broken, and we desperately need change to move forward. Here in Queensland, we have the most number of children in incarceration, and as it stands, we have 2 youth detention centres that are currently in the pipeline to be built here in Queensland. Eddie, the Katter Party calling on the Queensland government to hit pause on that and at least investigate this idea a little bit further.
Thank you so much, Tamara. A new report out this morning reveals Australia's population is set to rise to more than 40 million within the next 4 decades. Half of the growth is expected due to Australians living longer, with the number of residents aged over 85 set to triple in that time. The report says the average life expectancy would rise to 87 years for men and just under 90 for women, around a 5-year increase for both. The other half will be made up from overseas migration. A move to scrap shark nets has been rejected by the New South Wales government in a decision that has outraged councils who want them gone. Let's go live to Sunrise correspondent Liam Tapper. Liam, as it stands now, they'll be back for summer.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Eddie. Of course, these shark nets, they haven't been without their controversies, and the local councils, they want them scrapped right along the coast of New South Wales, but the government says it's simply too late in the year to make a change. Of course, the shark nets, they are taken down during the winter months and they are put back up in September, which is just a few weeks away, and the government says that it's too late. They don't have any time to put in any new technology. The local councils, along with communities, they met with the government last week to discuss some alternatives like drones or listening technologies or even smart drum lines. This is what these councils want in place, because they say that simply too many other marine species are caught up in the shark nets. But as I said, it's too late in the day. The government, they can't make a change heading into this summer. But also, Eddie, they say at the moment, these shark nets, they're the safest thing that they have in place for beachgoers.
Thank you, Liam. At least 20 people have died after a bus caught fire in Pakistan. The vehicle was travelling on a motorway when it hit a van that was parked on the shoulder and burst into flames. The van was loaded with 3 barrels of petrol, which sparked a huge inferno engulfing both vehicles. 11 passengers on board the bus were injured and both drivers died at the scene. Residents have been evacuated from 30,000 homes across British Columbia, where nearly 400 wildfires are currently burning. A state of emergency has been declared for the entire Canadian province, with the fires converging, tearing through buildings in Kelowna. The situation escalated so quickly that evacuation orders grew from 4,000 homes to 15,000 within the space of an hour. And further south, a wildfire is burning out of control in the US state of Washington. The blaze has left 1 person dead and destroyed almost 200 homes. A red flag warning, meaning critical fire conditions, has been issued for the east of the state, and helicopters have been brought in to help douse the flames. It's a mission fail for the Russians, their unmanned lunar spacecraft spinning out of control and crashing into the moon. The Luna 25 was due to make a soft landing on the moon's south pole today. Instead, it came down hard and fast, spoiling Russia's first lunar mission in 47 years. The spacecraft was set to explore a part of the moon which scientists think may have held frozen water. Well, this year's Melbourne Cup could have a distinctly royal flavour. Desert Hero, a horse owned by King Charles and Queen Camilla, is set to nominate for the Flemington feature this November. The trainer says he's keen to bring the 3-year-old down under this spring. Desert Hero recently won the King George V Stakes at this year's Royal Ascot.